everyone. How's it going? Congratulations. We have made it to another Saturday. Oh, such a great time. September 30th. Dude, man, this year is flying by. It is just flying by. But that's not a bad thing. I remember when I started doing some of these updates, in July, and here we are at the end of September, about to crest into October. So that's awesome. Shout out to my Patreon members. We got Warrior Bernard, Fighters Maxwell Foster Q, and of course Defender LG. Thank you so much, you guys. Like, seriously, your support means so much. So would not be able to do the stuff that we do without you guys' help. And of course, we mentioned him and he shows up. Hail TJ, hail Brandon, hail to you, good sir. Thank you for showing up and hanging out, man. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited, dude. I'm excited for when you start doing your writing, because I know that that's a huge step. And whether it's, a billion words or even 1,000 words, getting that creative juices flowing for writing is such a cool thing. And it's really awesome. So thanks for coming and hanging out, man. Of course, today is Saturday, where I do my updates on everything. And dude, Brandon, because I know you and I are both Lions fans, what about that game, man? Was that game not awesome or what? We're going into Green Bay, going into Lambeau Field, and we just hammer it straight to Green Bay. The defense is looking amazing. I love watching them. The offense could do some work, but man, it is so great to see Detroit have such a powerful run game right now. Oh my gosh, man. I'm enjoying it. And I was telling someone else how I am not putting my hope and faith too much into Detroit because it is Detroit, but it's at least exciting. It's at least exciting to tune in and know that the team is playing this good and that more than likely we're going to have at least a great game. Great resiliency, great attitudes. I love the spirit of the team that they have right now. So, yeah, never, ever happens in Green Bay. And a huge shout out to Coach Campbell, because the first Lions coach to, defeat Green Bay 4 games in a row since like 1983. That was awesome. So great for him, man. I'm excited. And what I'm grateful for is because we did a Saturday to Thursday game, now our guys get an extra 3 days to rest, 4 days to rest and recover until the next game. So that's going to be epic. All right. So that's that. Let's see. As long as they play hard, I'm happy. Straight attitude. 100%, right? Because I am definitely one of those people where I don't expect my team to win every game, but as long as they show up and they play hard, because that's where, if you don't do that and you don't win, well, what do you expect, right? Like, you didn't play hard. You didn't put it all out there. So you're not going to win every game. That's where, when Oregon last year, Coach Lanning came in, there was 1 or 2 games that we lost and the Ducks should have won, but it was the Ducks that beat themselves because they didn't look like they wanted to win bad enough. They played half-assed, in my opinion, the way they looked last year. This year, man, those kids have got some heart. I am excited. I love what I'm seeing. So, yeah, it's been great weekends for me as a football guy. It's been great weekends. So I'm excited about all that. All right, well, let's get into the writing updates, what's going on in the Dying Breed world in Warrior Publishing. So this week, I finished The Dying Breed Thievery, which is a short Golgoth story. It's a side story. And I was excited about writing it because I felt like it was very different. Oh, when you have Nike money, better play good. I mean, you would hope so, right? You would hope that you would play good, but at the end of the day, money can't buy those championships, as we know. It all comes down to heart. So hopefully they play with heart. But yeah, Thievery, I felt like it was such a different feel than the traditional The Dying Breed, which is technically a progressive fantasy. It is epic in size, but this short story, this novella, was one where there was a lot of building. And I started at the very end, and when I planned it out, like, here's what I want, and I had to work my way backwards to the very beginning of the planning of, like, this has to happen, then this has to happen, then this needs to happen. And so I planned it all completely differently from the rest of the series. and it was really fun. It's just really different. It's not very intensive, I believe. It was just a lot of planning and a lot of fun because it was so different for me. So it's one of those things where it may not resonate with a lot of readers in the same way as the rest of the Dying Breed, but it was still a lot of fun for me as a writer, and therefore it's just something else to add to the portfolio of all my writing stuff. So congrats on interviewing with Legion Publishers. I'm excited. Thanks, man. Yeah. So the Legion, the Lit RPG Legion group and the Legion Publishers, you know, started with three wonderful, amazing people, the Kajios, Jez and Chrissy, and then Geneva Agnos, I believe is how you say her last name. I've been blessed, like truly blessed with the fact that I call them friends. I refer to them as friends. I view them as friends. I am blessed in the fact that I've been able to establish that friendship, that I can reach out and talk to them and communicate with them. And I've gotten to spend time with them in person while I was at Dragon Con. And so, you know, for me, you see there's multiple assets, or not assets, there's multiple avenues, there's multiple groups, pages, people that do author AMAs and author interviews and things of that nature. And so I just wanted to start doing that. I felt like it was a great time to spend with other authors and get encouragement. And so I just wanted to continually do that. And then they reached out and they just said, hey, would you like to come in and partner with our Facebook group and stream within there, and we can just grow this partnership together. So it's been a blessing for sure. And I'm really excited for that opportunity and getting to move forward with it. So, and as you guys know, I feel like we have some just epic, awesome authors coming up on the schedule. I am super excited. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Marish, because oh my God, was that such a great time. It was so much fun getting to hang out with her. And of course, when you're doing the interviews, you sometimes spend a few minutes before you start streaming, and then after you're done streaming, just kind of talking one-on-one. And she had one or two ideas of like, hey, what if we did this with some other authors? So I'm excited. You know, you never know what these opportunities are going to lead to, what they're going to grow and develop for more content, more exposure of other amazing authors. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And we'll see what the future holds with some of these other author AMAs. So thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that, man. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for sure. So TDB Thievery, and let me show you guys right here. So for those of you who have not seen the cover of what I made for Thievery, this is, excuse me, this is what it looks like. So we took Golgoth's main character image that is in the first book, TDB Hunters, and we basically just turned it over and made it the book cover for that short story. The other thing that I really love about this is I also came up with a new chapter head design. So that is the chapter header when you're going through that short story, because again, like I said, the goal is not only will book 3 have this short story at the very end of it, but I do want to technically make this its own novella and have it separate. So one of the things I'm looking at is, can I have these novellas printed up in a paperback form so I could throw them in with shirt orders whenever there's new people that are interested in TDB, ordering merchandise, apparel, whatever. Like, can I throw these books in for free just to say like, hey, check out my work, whatever. But yeah, and then also do it on the KU side. So new chapter headers, which I have made chapter headers for each book within the Dying Breed. Actually, all of my books, because now I think about it, Call Sign Bloodbath and Enmity, they have their own. Now, granted, it's the same for both of those books because it's within the Scalpel Chronicles, but it's still, I love having those unique chapter headers. I think that makes it really special. So that is that. And yeah, I'm super excited for Thievery. I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that, man. Okay, so that is that. Thievery is done, which adds into Enslavement, the third book in the Dying Breed series, which, with the combined numbers of Thievery, brings book 3 to 118,000 and a half words. Right now, the page count on Enslavement is at 543 estimated. So it's going to be a chonker of a book. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, and it is already with Catherine. She is already doing her edits on it. She seems to be flying through, and I know she does 2 passes of the book, but she is definitely going through it very fast. I hope she's enjoying it. I think she's enjoying it. So there's that. Yeah, man, it was such a fun book. Like I've talked about in my other updates, when I actually stopped my editing and revising and just enjoyed the story as well, that's when it really came together. And I'm super excited about it. I just think it's such a great stepping point for the whole series and where it was going. So yeah. All right. And then what else do I got to show you guys? So Enmity, book 2 of the Scalpel Chronicles. This is the most updated cover for Enmity, and I'm super excited because this is my Lit RPG first-person shooter series. I am currently going through it, making my changes and edits, and I am just about to start tackling chapter 13 today. So I have a road trip coming up here next week, this week. When am I leaving? This upcoming week, I think. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going on a road trip. So my goal is to obviously get all of my edits and revisions done as fast as I can, make sure it's all uploaded. So with that being said, the chapters are already scheduled and ready to release within my Patreon starting tomorrow, the 1st of October. So for all of my awesome Patreon members, they get to have that early access to Enmity. And I'm excited for this story, but I think it's extremely important. It's extremely powerful. And it is the main premise of the book, of the story of what is happening with Trevor. It's not being talked about enough, I believe, in American society. It's not being talked about enough in the political sphere. So there's those times where when I mention a book within Enmity called The Heart and the Fist, and it's a story about a Navy SEAL who started his life as a humanitarian. He went all around the world volunteering at work camps, helping the less fortunate all around the world and doing all these things. And he shares this story. I want to believe he was in Serbia or somewhere in a European nation. And he was at this work camp, and these rebels, these terrorists, militia organization, were coming in and taking some of the people out, basically imprisoning them. And so, of course, the organization he was working with were saying, dude, we're going to write to the UN. And they would laugh in their face and just say, okay, write your letter. We don't care. Like, what is a letter going to do to us? We are physically taking people. We don't care. We have guns. You have letters. Go for it. And so that's when he said, I had the heart to serve others, but then I needed to understand that sometimes you have to have a fist, a really big, powerful, heavy fist, and you have to fight back. And so that's where he transitioned from being a humanitarian into joining the Navy SEALs, and did, I believe, 1 or 2 tours in the Navy SEALs. And so that was kind of the motivation within this book. It's extremely gory, extremely graphic, extremely violent, but that was the whole thing, is like, sometimes you have to have a fist. And with the topic that the book covers, it's like, what? It's not about writing a policy in place, because obviously there's laws against human trafficking. Sometimes you need to take action, and that's where Trevor goes and takes a lot of action within stopping a human trafficking organization. So I was really excited to update the cover, get that done. And then, as you guys have seen in the past updates with book 1, finding ways to get it bound and stuff, I'm just super excited to see where this book goes. Because of the edits, the cost of editing, books 1 and 2 are probably not going to be professionally done until early 2024. So that's where, for you guys, if you want to read it, as soon as it drops, the Patreon group, but then it'll be going out to Royal Road more than likely in January as well. Does Trevor deal with some hardcore issues on a personal level? There's a new, how do I say this? There's a new addition within some of the scope of the neurochip. And it was one of those things that I wanted to add a little bit more depth and add a little bit more of like this temptational side of things. Because as you know from book 1, Brandon, he really had to fight that I'm not who I was from the past. And so that was still the main emphasis that I wanted to add, as far as adding this small addition and really fighting this temptation of doing certain things. So there is some issues of the personal side. I don't think it's what you think it's going to be, though. But with your idea for book 3 with a canine unit, which I love, I am excited for developing book 3, because what you recommended is definitely going to add a lot of depth. And I've already started the planning stages because of certain facets that you really enjoy with Sasha, with Brian, with a few of these others. Book 2, I felt book 1 did not have enough action and intensity for being a first-person shooter. Like, we really skirt or play with it at the end of book 1, but book 2 is just extremely ramped up in the first-person shooter realm. Book 3 was really supposed to bring both of books 1 and 2 together, where there's an extremely huge amount of intensity, action, the first-person shooter aspects, but we also now bring all of these other characters together within the Scalpel world, within all of these different kind of spiderweb connections that Scalpel has. And it's either going to, book 3 is either going to be super epic in bringing all this together, or I might just make what book 3 and 4 were supposed to be into just one massive book and just continue it on. So I hope that answers your question. I hope it answers your question, because I saw what you were saying about Sasha. Like, you wanted more Sasha. There's a little bit more of Sasha in book 2, but there's not a whole lot. And that was also to lead into book 3, because all of these spiderweb things are interconnected in a way. And so that's where book 3 is supposed to bring it all together. So I hope that answers your question. So yeah, okay. Enmity, we talked about that, chapter 13. So that brings my total for 2023. The total word count is 406,000 words, which is incredible, crazy amount to think about for me. The total of my writing career, that brings up to 667,000 words. So I'm excited. And the other thing too is, because October and into November are going to be such crazy transitions with some stuff that is more than likely going to happen on my personal life. Getting book 2 of Enmity edited and updated and ready for Patreon, the faster I can get that done, obviously, the faster I can get back to writing. So the last 2.5 months have been nothing but a lot of edits and revisions. I have not been able to get a whole lot of writing in. That's kind of why I enjoyed Thievery so much, because it got me back into writing. So I really want to get Enmity done so I can go back in and work on the Dying Breed Cataclysm, which is book 4, the final book of that, the God King Emmanuel saga. And yeah, I really am hoping that I can get back into that come, middle to late October, maybe November. If I can dive into that book as soon as possible and really get back into the world and finish it, that's what I would love to do, so that I have a completed series / saga, really. Because now that I've written 2 books in Scalpel and I've got the Dying Breed, I really don't like jumping back and forth, even though I know a lot of writers do it to keep themselves refreshed, to keep everything new. I just don't want to have an incomplete series out, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be able to complete everything, have it finished, have it done. So that's kind of my goal, is let's get done with Enmity so that we can go back and start working on everything else. All right, so that's the writing updates. Those are the book updates. Let's see, Eli Gardner, which we gave her a shout out, but another shout out here on the update on the live, because she just released, boom, Rapunzel Must Die. It is her second book within the, what does she call it? The Fairy Tales and Conflicts collection, which I absolutely love this cover. It fits so well, I think, with that series, with the story. And I was super bummed. Because I ordered the book and I was hoping that it would be here in time for me to do the live stream update, but it wasn't. But again, look at both of those covers back to back. They're just, they fit so well. They look incredible. I am super excited. So congrats to Eli for everything there. She just released that. Additionally, now granted, I don't have, we got John A. Douglas. Hail, TJ. Hail to you, good sir. Hail to you. Thank you for showing up. And I saw your announcement on Facebook, man. That's exciting. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you got going on. And I think you and I may have talked about it behind the scenes privately. So I'm curious, but I'm excited for you, man. So yeah, Eli Gardner just released her second book, Rapunzel Must Die. Kajio just released Prototype. We've got, of course, Stephen Landry, another good friend of our channel, of life. He just released his second book, SCCDE, which, good luck to you, big guy. And then, of course, Ryan Maxwell, who is also one of our Patreon. Ryan Maxwell, one of our Patreon members. His Grand System Vending book just crested above or into the 5,000 rated range on Royal Road. So, dude, congrats to you, man. I'm super excited to see your book take off and get just a strong following, man. That's awesome. So keep that up. Okay, so those are the updates, you guys. Those are the updates. What are my thoughts on the week? So there is, I've talked about it before, but for this week with me, it really came back to timing. The timing of everything. The more you recommend, the more my list is piling up. Well, that's good, man. That's good. I'm excited for you, dude. There's so many wonderful authors out there, right? And especially within the indie scene, I'm excited. I just, that's been some of the fun of this channel is, and what we're doing is getting to meet awesome authors doing awesome things and get to highlight their work. So I'm glad that you're happy. The timing of everything, man. It's just one of those things where we live in such a fast-paced society that we forget how often things just take time to grow, things take time to process, things take time to really mature within the stages of life or your career or whatever. John, add me to your list. Brandon, my debut is dropping in October. It is, man, and I'm excited. We need to have you on the channel. When we get to highlight you, because you've been highlighting so many other awesome authors, and we want to make sure that we do it. Give you some time as well. Consider it done. Heck to the yeah. So I was listening to some speeches this week about this, and someone that I enjoyed listening to, Jordan Peterson, which some people consider him a controversial speaker, figure, whatever. I don't care. I think he has some great encouraging stuff. But he says you can have whatever you want in 5 years, as long as you aim towards it and you know what it is. But you have to work for it, right? And there was another entrepreneur that had a snippet within the video clip, and he was just saying, you have to work, no results. Okay, well then I'm going to work, no results. I'm going to keep doing this until eventually I get results. because then as you keep going, boom, eventually it takes off. Eventually you have this huge result of all of your hard work and your effort. And that's really what it comes down to. We in a society and a culture expect these things to instantly happen and instantly have this impact within us or whatever we're doing, and it's just not the process. The more I've spent time within the 20 books to 50K group, the more you see how many authors admit and talk about the fact that their books did not take off until their third or fifth or seventh, but they never gave up on the process, and they wanted to continue writing and continue developing their skill and their craft. It was not a one book and done. It was, I'm going to keep writing. I'm going to keep telling stories. And eventually they took off. Eventually, one or two people found their books, and then it just slowly grew over time. And so I think a lot of people who are aspiring authors, they get so short-sighted because of how overwhelming it can be when they start out. And I think that's why when Jordan Peterson talked about that, you can have anything you want or whatever you want, but it has to be in 5 years. Can you sustain the resiliency? Can you sustain the passion, the goal, the dream, and keep working towards that for 5 years? You know, we work on something for 3 months and we're ready to give it up because, oh, it's just not what I thought and not where I predicted I would be. And I think that's one of the biggest things to remember is you have to take time. And I found someone was talking about that. So all of this was being exposed to me. And then it was coming back to people like J.K. Rowling, people like Stephen King, people like Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of people that we look at in such high prestige for what they accomplished, what they have done, the platform and the following they have built, every single one of those people were past their mid-30s when their careers really took off. And I think a lot of the times as young people, we have so much energy, so much excitement, so much passion and drive that we expect if we pour all of this into the effort, we're instantly going to get results. Whereas in reality, the vast majority of people were all in their middle stages of life when things really took off. The biggest thing is they never gave up on the process. And so I think that's the biggest thing is when you are aspiring to write or to become an author, to work on a project of creative endeavors, do not give up on the process. The vast majority of podcasts never make it to 100 episodes. And it's even like 1% ever of that amount ever make it to 200 episodes. So it's all about, can you continue to pour yourself into the process? Can you continue to work to gain anything? So if you're starting out writing and you're at that 30,000 word mark and you're struggling, keep going. You can always go back and re-edit. You can always go back and revise. You can always go back and make new additions to the material, to the work. Just don't give up on the process. Just don't give up. It's so much fun. I have more fun now when I'm writing than when I first started out. 100%. I have so much more. You start to see how you can add all the creative pieces, all of the dynamics of things, the emotions of your characters. So yeah, if I had given up in writing after book one, I would have totally not been at the depth and level that I am at now. So don't give up, you guys. Smash your head against the wall until it breaks. Don't mind the blood. It'll wash off. That spots in your vision is also normal. There you go. Yeah, smash your head, like John said. All right, you guys. So that is all the updates. Those are my thoughts on the week. That is what I got for you guys as far as the writing, as far as Warrior Publishing. We have 2 shirt orders and some books. So the shirts were just finished yesterday. So those orders are going to be going out Monday when the post office is opened up. So we will get those in the mail to you guys Monday. My goal and my hope is that next month, October, I will be updating the website so that you guys will be ordering merchandise apparel directly from the dropshipping companies available. So a huge thank you to Richie Stevens for giving me a recommendation on who to go with. I'm excited for that. But yeah, it's like I've talked about in the past. I love having the genuineness of getting to make the shirts ourselves, send them out, doing all that. But it's just the fact that in the next 2 months, my life is more than likely going to dramatically change. I'll be going back into a workforce 9 to 5. And with that, I just don't have the time. So more than likely, we'll be updating that website this week or this month. And of course, I will keep you guys posted on how all of that works out. So, but yes, we did get the orders. Thank you so much, you guys, for your support. So we'll be doing that. Now, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to talk about anything, make sure to put them in the chat. For now, for the next minute or two, let's look at this awesome Saturday. Shabam! So, of course, as you guys know, college football for me. USC versus Colorado. Let's just be real. I don't think Colorado has a chance. I am looking forward to tuning in and watching that. Michigan and Nebraska. I think we know who's going to win this. This one I'm really interested on. The Georgia-Auburn. Never sleep on Auburn. They can always come out with some stuff. And I am hoping that Auburn actually gives it to Georgia. I would love to see them get knocked out of the number 1 seed. Kansas and Texas. I have watched Kansas a little bit this year. I love the fight that they have in them. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be really enjoyable. So I'm going to be tuning into USC Colorado, checking that out, and then I'll probably be flipping back and forth between these two. I think that's going to be a fun one. Florida and Kentucky, I'm not too concerned about, not really interested in. Penn State and Northwestern, again, I think Penn State is going to just destroy Northwestern. They have just got a dominant team this year. I'm an LSU fan naturally. I don't know who Alabama's playing, but I'm rooting for them. Up yours, Bama. Double up yours, Saban. Okay, well, that's clear as day. I don't think we need to go into that. Let's see. We got some other smaller teams down here. So Baylor and UCF. UCF is a pretty strong team. That could be an interesting matchup there. All right, let's see. What do we got? Notre Dame and Duke. Man, Duke has come out of nowhere, right? Out of nowhere with their football program. So that'll be interesting. I always feel Notre Dame is overhyped. I feel like it's every year they're overhyped. They lost to Ohio State, so they got a little bit of humble pie there. But that could be an interesting game. Michigan State, I think Iowa's going to crush them. Iowa is such a strong team. LSU versus Ole Miss, like John said, this could be a really fun game to watch. Ole Miss is strong. LSU is strong. Both teams like to fight it out, so that could be really fun and entertaining to watch. And then, of course, right afterwards, Alabama, Mississippi State, which, if I remember correctly, Mississippi State was the ones who knocked Alabama out last year with their field goal winning kick. So let's go Mississippi State because I'm sick of Alabama. Oregon at Stanford, that, of course, is something I will be working to get because of my Duckies. The Quack Attack, this has been a fun year so far. Stanford has not been doing well. They are struggling. They need to completely rebuild. So let's go Ducks, right? And then Washington at Arizona. I do not believe Arizona has a chance in hell. Washington is just explosive. So there's that. Fresno State's been doing really good too. So good on them. All right. So that's the Saturday games, you guys. I'm excited. It is always a great day when it's a college football day. We watched the Oregon State Beavers versus Utah Utes last night. That was a boring game until the end. There's a little bit of excitement. But, man, I feel bad for the Utes. They're struggling this year, 2-time defending Pac-12 champs. I do not think they're going to be getting that again. But that's where the Pac-12 is exciting. Pac-12 is exciting. So, all right, you guys. Well, I think that is it. I don't see any other questions in the chat. So, you guys, thanks so much for showing up. Again, to my Patreon followers, you guys are the best. I hope you enjoy Book 2 Enmity. Be sure to read over the first chapter where there's some content warnings and everything. But again, you guys, thanks so much. You guys are a blessing. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, our author AMA is Timo Burnham. I hope you guys will tune in. And, of course, that is our first stream within Lit RPG Legion. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. I'll never forget the look on Saban's face when Miss took that win. He gets so asmad when he loses and thinks he should win. 100%, man. 100%. So, all right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Be safe, be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow for Tim O'Burnham's interview.